Welcome back. And here we are, still poisoned by Omelium's mind stuff. Let's take a look at what level 4 is going to be like. Alright, so our 4th level sorcerer is Gale. We pick up an additional cantrip. We're going to take Bone Chill. This can stop regeneration. There are a couple of enemies we'll run across that have regeneration. We're going to pick up a new spell, and our strong options are Scorching Ray, invisibility to try to get out, Misty Step. We can get scrolls of Misty Step, but they're not going to be a bonus action to use. Scorching Ray is going to be our high damage effect, so that's the one we're going to pick. We've got the option to replace a spell. We still don't have access to jump and feather fall on one character. We could swap out shield for jump and that swap back in shield eventually when we're able to fly. We're not going to. We've got 2 other characters that have enhanced leap, but just means we have to work together to get that function going. Here we are interested in trying to push up our spell difficulty saves and attack rolls. We can do that by increasing our charisma or with an ability improvement, or we can try to do some itemization stuff. What we're going to do for Gale is we'll take dual wielder. So that's going to mean that he can take a staff, one of the wizard staffs, and put one in each hand. So we've got the Melsphere staff already. We're going to get another one pretty soon. We've got the arcane staff for the bless function we can use right now. It's also going to push the armor class up by 1. We'd have to lose our shield, so it would go down by 1, but we have bracers of defense that basically work as a shield, so by taking dual wielder, our armor class is actually going to go up by 1. For Shadowheart, we're going to take a sharpshooter. This allows her to take a -5 penalty on her attack roll to get 10 extra damage. And if you're using dual hand crossbows, that can be a really large damage swing. Starion picks up another cantrip. We're going to take Produce Flame because it creates light. So it's basically a way in Act 2 for a brief period to have light on us. And here we're going to take the Tavern Brawler feat, specifically looking towards shape-shifting and the Tavern Brawler bonus to hit carrying over into our wild shape forms. We'll add to Constitution for additional hit points. And for Lizelle, we're going to take Tavern Brawler as well. Same thing, more Constitution. So our AC didn't change, and that's because when we were swapping over gear between Lizelle, and we see our AC goes way back up. It's because we were wearing medium armor. Right, these boots are medium armor. So we will equip our bracers of defense and Melsphere staff and the staff of arcane blessing, and our AC actually goes up. Here, Shadowheart, we purchased the Caustic Band, so we'll equip that. That'll add a little damage for us. The other rings that we've got are not particularly important. For Gale, we'll put the Ring of Mind Shielding on just because he's carrying all of our scrolls, so if he does get charmed, then we'd end up sending stuff out. This is going to be the first item we consume for our magic dependency as Gale. We've got some new amulets. We just bought this Pearl of Power, which works like the Magician spell Restore. It'll restore a spell slot of 1, 2, or 3. For Gale, we're going to want to equip the Psychic Spark. This gives us an extra casting of Magic Missile and adds an additional dart when we shoot Magic Missile, so basically it upcasts by 1 level whatever we're doing. For Shadowheart, we can pick Gloves of Power. Sorry, excuse me there. She does a lot of weapon attacks, so on hits with weapon we can do a Bane effect. We got a jump after dash or a bonus to throw attacks and improvised weapons. We'll give the bonus to throw attacks and improvised weapons to Lae'zel. We're also going to equip the haste helm on her, so getting additional movement when combat starts will be a big deal for the monk. We don't have a lot of magic hats. I don't think we've got any armor. And we do have quite a few boots. So the boots of Stormy Clamor we're going to put on Asterion because he's the one that inflicts conditions at the moment. Eventually we'll probably swap him back to Gale when his spells are doing a lot of conditions. The Speedy Light feat, where we can get some additional lightning charges by dashing, we're going to put on Lae'zel. So she does dash to get places and then uses the bonus action key attacks, so we can get a little lightning damage out of that. But we could also give her the Boots of Speed to use her bonus action to dash. For Lae'zel, her bonus action for attack is better than her standard attack at the moment, so we probably want that reversed. Shadowheart can cast Jump, but she cannot cast Featherfall, so we're going to put these Featherfall boots we got in the Mage Tower on her. We could do the same for Asterion, but since he's wearing the boots that do reverberation, it's better for him. We've got a ring that prevents lightning damage. There's not a lot of stuff that's going to be doing lightning damage. Bernard, if we wanted to go deal with him, but we are not going to do that. We put Lesser Restoration on him. His bite will cause a status effect that will proc it, but we're not able to use it easily. Lae'zel and Shadowheart will disapprove if Asterion bites them, and if he tries to bite Gale, he'd get poisoned because the orb. We'll take the Misty Step amulet and we're going to put that on Lae'zel to give her some additional mobility, so if we do get stuck where we need to move her around like over hill and dale, then we've got some additional movement to do that with. She'll get Misty Step as well as a Gith. And I think that is it for equipment. Yeah, we don't need the Detect Thoughts amulet equipped. Alright, so here's our setup at the moment. And we can get back to adventuring. So we're going to head up towards Joaquin's Rest. We've not been there yet. And we're going to get there by heading just straight out of town to the north. Probably run into Raphael, and here we've got an encounter with a Bugbear and an Ogre. So we'll take that since we're here. So we're going to bring our whole party up top. We'll break apart. While we're standing here, there's a +1 dagger we can try to get out. It's a little bit of experience. I thought I had Gale selected. Okay, there we go.
Feast fit for an ogre.
So we've got a strength check, an investigation check, or a sleight of hand check. We're going to take the investigation check, get some guidance, and we got the check, so we'll just do what it says and get a little bit of experience. We're going to take Lizelle, who would have some trouble getting through and across all this mud. We're going to position her over here on the other side.
Careful, I'm behind. Step
And we're going to open the door with Asterion.
My face protects me.
Yes? Yes, yes.
someone there. This way.
Alright, so coming down to the gate. Before we open it, we're going to cast Lungstrider for some additional movement, and we're going to cast Jump so that we can just jump out of the way.
As you approach, then a low moan.
And we'll just open the door, and we find these people that are trying to make a half ogre.
Over in the making.
And we're going to try and block them in a little bit. So we'll cast Spike Growth, essentially up until where Asterion is, and force them to walk across it to get to us. And then we're going to jump and head up on top, forcing the Bugbear and Ogre to walk through to get to us. And we'll take a shot on him here.
My faith protects me. Fool, damn you.
And she's going to go berserk. And now's when we're going to pull Lizelle back in.
I shouldn't linger.
And we'll come over and we're going to open up with Topple to try to knock it over.
Get me up, would you?
We're going to take the magic missile cast from our amulet.
There's blood in the air.
Asterion still has jump, but no feather fall. So we can get, but we will take damage. If we step down, that won't be true. So we'll switch to our weapon. And we're going to try the Halo of Spores. And we got that off. We still had some additional attacks. We'll cancel the Spike Growth and get our group together.
That way.
The Ogre is worth like 75 experience, I think. Yeah, so not too bad. They're glowing because we can talk to the bodies. And there's just assorted stuff in here. Okay, let's head up to this broken bridge. And somewhere over here we're going to encounter Raphael. There we go. And he does the thing. I will say that we're Gale, and he's going to move us to the House of Hope.
There. Middle of somewhere.
Gale seems urbane. You'll complement the decor.
It might just be your last.
We'll fill our plate,
Am I a friend?
so we don't care what he is, but what he wants.
I could fix it all. Like
Then we'll threaten him for a little approval,
hope.
and then say that we'll be the last one laughing.
Something over there.
We got a little food out of that, and an introduction to Raphael. We'll hit the dig site here. We'll take the jump across. So we've got potential combat here with some gnolls and some gnoll archers. We've got Joaquin's Rest up over here, but we're a little low on resources at the moment. So we don't have any second level spells.
Eager for battle.
Oh, I have the magic touch.
Not sure that we would like to start off this combat. We've got one other thing we can take care of.
I venture forth.
And perhaps a little shopping to do before we start in on our next batch. We've got a couple of history checks here. If we want, we can buff before we click on the bodies. So if we're able to make these, we can get a point of inspiration for Gale.
Ready and willing.
It's been a while since these two breathed their last.
And we got that. So this natural alliance, we noticed that the bodies were a harper and a druid. So we are learning that they were aligned. So running east along the river here, we're going to find the skeleton. Very easy to overlook this item. It doesn't show up when we're searching for it. The smuggler's ring, which gives us some stealth and sleight of hand. Very useful if you're doing a playthrough where you're picking a lot of pockets. This time through we're not. We could cross back over to right here. This is where Scratch is. We'll pick up the toll collector's key right here at the edge of the cliff, and right over here we could find Karlach. We're not going to recruit Karlach on this playthrough. She's too nice for us.
Could be interesting.
We've got a dead toll collector. We could talk to the body.
Something over there.
So we'll dig this up. The plot over here is that the paladins that are in this building, they're fake paladins that were sent by Zariel to, or they used to be real paladins, I guess, but they're fake paladins sent by Zariel to harass Karlach. And they're hole up here after getting beat up pretty badly by her. So this is a combat when you recruit Karlach. She wants to take care of them. They will offer to give you their sword for taking Karlach's head. We're instead just going to kill them and take their stuff. Because if you talk to the bodies, you'll realize that they're not who they say they are. They're devil worshippers. But before we do that, we're going to need to recover some resources. So we'll head out and take our first rest. So we're going to jump to camp. And probably going to want to talk to Withers, who wants to talk to us about hirelings.
Not this one, nor this one, and this one, right in, for a mere pittance of coin.
And that's all we needed to talk to him about. Gale is a little different from the rest of the companions in rest order because Gale has a required event on the first rest to account for his magical item consumption affliction. As an origin character, when we end the day, we're not going to get the Dream Guardians consumed tadpole confrontation with Lizelle. We are instead going to get a meeting with Gale's familiar Tressym, Terra. Here we could talk to our companions. We're going to skip on that. We do need to follow up with Shadowheart at some point to try to improve our relationship with her. We have not figured out she's a Shar priestess yet.
Sleep is a hazy oasis on the you know exactly what this is. But what about the bomb in your chest? Ceramorphosis is likely to destabilize it.
So again, we can just sort of think about stuff. We're probably going to flatten Waterdeep.
Imagine the explosion. You'll need to drink.
Excuse me, Mr. Decarios.
And here we get our familiar.
Destiny is at your door. Will you at least twitch the
And
curtain?
Terra's pretty funny.
And I decided will not. And a good thing, too. You look like you haven't. I won't be teased, heckled, pestered, or vexed, Mr.
So she's pretty funny.
That's it. Making sure I looked away.
You made yourself a
Speaking of which,
ring.
we have a great deal of catching up to do. Eat
And we'll
up.
say thanks.
Of course, now eat up.
So Terra is trying to make sure that we don't explode, so she's going to show up and provide us with a ring. If we rested before we had found other magic items, this would be the ring that we would need to consume just to be sort of functional. But we didn't do that. We've run around and picked up all kinds of stuff. And so what we're going to consume is this Mage's Friend ring.
Breathe a little easier.
And we've got all of our resources back, so we can deal with another day of adventuring. And I'm going to end this video here, and we'll take back to adventuring in the next one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you there.